What conspiracy do people believe that really grinds your gears? Optometrists give you myopia by overprescribing glasses so that they can sell you more glasses. 5G towers spreading COVID. Flat Earth, globe showing Europe, Africa. People who claim the moon landing was faked. There's no way you actually believe in the moon. That Sandy Hook didn't happen. Effing idiots. 5G causes cancer. 5G is nothing new, it's the same as Wi-Fi, just operating at a higher frequency. The theorists like to say that everything gets worse the higher you go, but then conveniently ignore that their TV remotes and security cameras are transmitting frequencies 10x higher than 5G with their infrared emitters. Just stay lower than X-rays and you'll be fine. That the Titanic didn't hit an iceberg. That school shootings are fake with crisis actors. That shit makes my blood boil, especially with Sandy Hook. As a Freemason, that we run the world. We can barely organize a curry night, let alone run the world. All we do is perform a few allegorical plays, raise money for charity, and have a few drinks. New World Order my arse. Edit. Thanks to everyone that has engaged with this post seriously or otherwise. I've had a great time answering some of your questions. If you are curious about Masonry, pop over to r/Freemasonry. There are links to all the major Grand Lodges around the world and brothers that will answer any follow-up questions. I don't know if it counts as a conspiracy, but the people who believe the McDonald's coffee lawsuit was frivolous. It drives me nuts. That somehow, globally, all scientists are in on a big secret that requires them to convince you that the earth is round, or that vaccines are good. How we gonna get them all to agree on something without a secret getting out? Child traffickers were selling kids by way of overpriced cabinets on Wayfair. The earth is flat. The group of people that believe all female Hollywood stars are trans. Several friends and family shared memes this year about how rainbow fentanyl is the next big thing, and it looks exactly like Smarties, so check your kids' candy. In each case, I asked how anyone would profit by anonymously giving grade school kids fentanyl. Yes, of course someone could just want to kill kids. But people who have large quantities of drugs usually want to sell them, not kill people. There's no benefit in getting someone hooked on drugs when they can't pay for them, or even find you to buy more. That Jewish people somehow control the world. As a structural engineer, the whole jet fuel can't melt steel thing, like, bro, it doesn't need to. Vaccines causing autism. The smiley face serial killer. https://www.rollingstone.com/culture/features/smiley-features-culture-features-culture-culture-culture-features-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-culture-cul They were last seen late at night leaving a bar, and many of them died in the winter. I don't know if you know this, but the Midwest has a massive drinking culture amongst young men, and when it's dark, you're drunk, and the river banks are frosted over, it's hard to tell where land ends and water begins. Plus, rivers like the Mississippi are deceptively fast. It's incredibly easy to be swept away by them when you're already unsteady due to the cold weather and alcohol. It's been wildly debunked. https://en.wikipedia.org/wiki/smiley_face_murder_theory, by criminal pathologists and the Center for Homicide Research. http://homicide-center.org/drowning-the-smiley-face-murder-theory. It grinds my gears because communities that have formed public watch groups, https://positivelypittsburgh.com/smiley-face-killer-fact-or-fiction, have managed to save dozens of lives by stopping drunk people from walking into a river. If you throw your hands in the air and say, "Oh, well, it's a serial killer," There's nothing we can do, these inactions can lead to other young people dying. We should be mandating infrastructures like more public lighting and bollards along waterfronts. What happened to them was a tragedy, and their lives were stolen from them, but not by some maniac leaving something as generic as a smiley face as their calling card. The one about John F. Kennedy Jr. and Trump were going to appear together in Dallas to announce his candidacy for 2024. Earth is only 6,000 years old. The NBA secretly suspended the most famous athlete in the world so they could lose hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue and teach him a lesson. Just heard through a hotel wall, every time a man does a woman wrong, God pushes his hairline back. Jet fuel doesn't melt steel beams. Do people just think that steel stays perfectly solid and rigid all the way up to 2199 F and then turns molten at 2200 F like it's some kind of recipe? Do these people not understand how integrity works? That Jews are controlling the world? Please tell me where I get these magical powers and how do I use it to get more Firefly/Serenity? Contrails are chemtrails. Water vapor is a byproduct of hydrocarbon combustion and sometimes forms clouds behind the airplane. Those people that think whenever they see a contrail that the government is spraying chemicals are nuts. Mental illness and neurodivergency is actually people being possessed by demons. I think that is the dumbest shit ever, and I feel so bad for those kids being raised in religious families being made to believe that they are possessed by a demon because there's something going on with their brain. QAnon. They're dangerous to our society as a whole, and that really grinds my gears. That COVID was created just so Trump wouldn't be re-elected. Because millions of people dying in foreign countries who don't vote in the United States is a surefire way to do that. That the World Economic Forum is a secret shadow government that controls the world, while it is really a bunch of rich corporations very publicly influencing public policy. The one that suggests that all big music stars are part of the get inducted into the Illuminati and that they put Illuminati imagery in their videos either to rub it in or because they're somehow obliged to. Adrenochrome, and even more specifically that famous celebrities are using to stay young. It literally doesn't exist. Stupidest fucking conspiracy ever. That Finland straight up doesn't exist. That there's a cure for cancer and extreme collusion to prevent it from being released. The vaccines cause autism people. I don't really care that they don't understand vaccines or autism. They can think that it's causal all they want and it won't really matter. What grinds my gears is that they use this argument to justify not giving their kids vaccines. Which means they are okay with their kid potentially dying, being physically handicapped, or having lifelong illness as long as that means they won't be autistic. That's just fucked up. Obama allowed the immigrants in so they can vaccinate the frogs and turn them gay. That every doctor is a craven lunatic whose only goal is to pump as many pills into you to jack up your bill, and doesn't care at all and actually helping people. Yes, they exist. To some degree or another. But most docs actually want to help people, and I'd venture to say that most of them care the most on your well-being, not pumping up the bill. Advocate for yourself, absolutely. Get a second opinion. Oh wow, the medical consensus changed on something, so treatment protocols are different? That's the fucking point, yeah dingus, not an indictment. My favorite is when they point to some monster losing all their credentials for pulling shady shit. You see? I told you. No, Karen, you're pointing at somebody who the medical establishment is literally kicking out for being horrible. This is a feature, not a bug. Librarians are in fact not peddling porn or indoctrinating your children. Even if we were, we're not paid enough to do that. Face with rolling eyes. That whole election was stolen bullshit is pretty high up there. Trickle-down economics.